Right, let's talk about the new things in version 2.2 of Genshin Impact. So, whilst there isn't much content to go over, we're going to talk about the main thing that a lot of people have been asking about, the rerun banners, because people have been waiting for rerun banners for quite a while, and we got one interesting choice and one very obvious choice for reruns, and that's being Childe is the interesting one because this is his third banner now, and I mean, also ties to the event, kind of interesting that it's got a third banner, and we also got Tao, someone who a lot of people have been waiting for ever since she, left, because she had a really short banner cycle of 2 weeks, so yeah, we're going to talk about both these characters, and which banner I think you should pull on, because I have both of them here, and I will be speaking out of personal experience, and maybe what constellations you might want to go for. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you can always feel free to sub, but obviously you don't have to feel obliged to, but let's get into it. So we'll start off with Tatalia, or known as Childe, because he's the first character that is going to be up for, on the banner cycle. So, obviously, you got his bow form, and whilst that isn't, that exciting, the main thing is his melee stance, and then his burst. But he mainly focuses on crit rate because of his passive. So, when you apply a crit hit, you'll be applying a Riptide status effect, which is kind of like a pulsating thing. So if you crit again, it will like explode that Riptide and apply it again. So his main focus is having a high crit rate. So I'm running him with 67% crit rate here, and he's just really good. Personally, I recommend the Viridescent Hunt as your best 4-star option because obviously it's a crit rate bow. But problem is, the only 4-star bows that give crit rate are the ones from the Battle Pass. So yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, if you've got Skyward Harp, that's also an extremely good option, but you want to try and get a lot of crit rate on him, so I recommend Viridescent Hunt. If you don't have that, I used to run Blackcliff Warbow or Prototype Crescent, but the other best option that isn't these two is Rust, so I'd recommend maybe the best order for free-to-play weapons is Viridescent Hunt. Well, it's not a free-to-play weapon, but it's a low-budget one, then Rust if you have it. If not, you can always get Blackcliff Warbow, and then if you can't get that, go Prototype Crescent, and then if you can't get that, I guess Slingshot maybe. I mean, there's some maybe good 3-star bows for him. He's mainly more of like an endgame kind of thing. But artifacts, 4-piece Heart of Depth, or I mean, if you got the Thundering Pulse bow, I believe it's called, you can also do Shimanara's Reminiscence, I think, because you'll be getting the extra normal charge attack. I think mathematically you do more damage, but remember you do lose a bit of energy, and that isn't always the greatest. Obviously, don't level up his normal attack. I don't know what I was doing here. But I guess if you want to do more Riptide damage, like it's applied to that. So if you're a Riptide kind of guy, I mean you can always level up your normal attack. But the main things you want to level up is Foul Legacy, Raging Tide, and Havoc Obliteration. And his talent is pretty good. Like his like passive one increases your party member's normal attack. So if you're running him as a sub DPS, that's pretty decent. Constellation wise, C1 it's okay. I mean if you want to run more as a DPS, I'd recommend it. C2, that kind of gives more energy, which means you can use his burst more often, which his burst has some really decent multipliers, I believe. So most people like to do it in melee stance, so it's 650% damage. Very nice. Of course, C3, C5 is good. I believe C4, apparently it can ruin Vaporize comps, so yeah, I mean, I've never really understood this, so sorry. C6 obviously is very nice, but I mean, you don't need constellations for Childe. A lot of people say he's kind of trash at Z0, but like, if you run him as a sub DPS, I feel like he'll be completely fine. And hey, he's pretty cool, I'll put some like Childe gameplay in the background while, I talk in general, I say maybe he's like an S+ tier character. Like, he's not S, he's not like the highest tier, but I'd say he's fairly decent up there in terms of the DPS scale, And then obviously next up we have one of my favourite characters in the game, Tao. Now this might be very biased because I have triple crowned my Tao. But god, she is so much fun, it is unreal. Now yeah, I know a lot of people say, okay, HP is kind of scary. Well, personally I had to run a shield with Tao, and there's another character on Tao's banner called Toma, and Toma, from what they've said in the live stream anyways, where he can buff your pyro, you can buff the active member's pyro damage, which, very nice on Tao, and he can give you a shield, which is also really good on Tao because, that keeps Tao alive. So I mean, Tao mainly works by just converting a bit of her HP into attack damage. So as you can see, my Tao now has 2,795 attack, and then she can just do a lot. And then her burst obviously does a lot of damage as well. And I think it does more HP if you're below 50%. Now, in terms of weapons, I use the Blackcliff Hull. Not the best option. Staff of Homer is going to be probably rerunning. I'd be very surprised if they didn't rerun Staff of Homer, because why would they not run Staff of Homer with Hu Tao? But if Homer reruns, I'd say go for it if you got a Hu Tao already. If you don't have Homer, there's always decent 4-star options. Deathmatch, I've heard is really good, but I've personally used Blackcliff because of the higher base attack and crit damage. But you can always use Deathmatch, and I feel like that will probably be better. Also, Dragon's Bane is really good if you're running Hu Tao with Xingqiu. Now, you probably have a Xingqiu. If you have a Xingqiu already, run your Xingqiu of Hu Tao. Trust me, you won't regret it. I mean, apart from that, I mean, there isn't too much in the way of best weapons. I mean, the White Tassel's also, like, okay if you're just starting out, and then maybe Halberd, but I mean, even Black Tassel, I mean, if you wanna, like, do HP. But in terms of 4 stars, I'd say Dragon's Bane is decent, Deathmatch is really good, Blackcliff Pole's really good, and then if you go to 5 stars, I'm gonna say Staff of Homer. Artifacts, I run 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flames, but it's also, you can also build the case for Shimenao's Reminiscence again. But personally, that's not something that I want to do on her, but I think technically, again, with like Childe, mathematically, it can be better in some situations if you've got the energy to back it up. Constellation-wise, now this is a big must. Most of Hu Tao's potential will come at C1. Now, I'm running C0 Hu Tao, and I've gotten a lot of potential out of her already, but if you want to bring your Hu Tao to another level and do a lot more damage, Hu Tao will do a ton more if you get her Constellation 1, and that's what I'm going to be aiming for on her banners, try and get her C1 to bring her out more. Of course, C2 is pretty good, you know, C4 is also really nice, and then her C6 just means she just doesn't die, which is very nice if you are into dying a lot. So, yeah, in terms of talents, obviously the main reason why Hu Tao is like a charge attacker, and the main reason why I say C1 is so good is because if you look at the multipliers here, so it's like 88, 91, 115, 123, but her charge attack is 256%, and if you do a lot of charge attacks into Vaporize, it's beautiful. It is so nice. Of course, Guide to Afterlife, you want to level that up as well, because that gives you the bigger attack increase. And then Spirit Soother, whilst it's not necessary, it does have some nice percent damages, and it also like heals your Hu Tao back up, but it's not as high. It's not as a high percentage as Childe, so I mean, it's nothing. You know, it's nothing too special personally, but it does some nice numbers. Like I'll put a clip up here somewhere. Like I was fighting the Wolf Boss yesterday, and I pressed Q, and I wasn't expecting to do that much damage. Which, by the way, it might not look like a lot, but to me, that's like some of the highest numbers my account has seen so far. So yeah, I do like it a lot, and I think you get like an extra bit of crit rate, and then obviously her level 60 talent when you're below 50%, her pyro damage is increased by 33, which basically means I can reach something stupid like, well, currently 102% pyro damage because I'm below 50% and I've activated my thing, and I got Crimson Witch with like, yeah, it's crazy. And if I have Toma, oh my god, Toma can make so, yeah, there is so much like you could do here, and also Kazuha, that, like, honestly, I'd recommend Hu Tao above Childe, and that's my final answer. Put Hu Tao above Childe, and she's gonna be the second banner, so you've got time to save. But hey, if you like Childe, go for him. You know, I'd recommend trying him out on the test run because obviously his playstyle is very unique, and that's what I like about him the most, is that he has a really unique playstyle. But you know, it is what it is. I'd recommend Hu Tao more if you're looking for something to buff your accounts, but if you're looking for fun, both are just really good options. So yeah, let me know down below, which one are you guys pulling on? I'm pulling for Hu Tao C1, maybe even the weapon banner, because I mean, I lost the footage for it, might be on my laptop, I'm not sure, but I did pull on the weapon banner, and I used all my primers to pull this thing out of it, which apparently is a very good sword, so I mean, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I hope you're having a great day, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you guys in another video really soon. Have a good one, everyone.